Drive it, test it, and crash it before you build it. Virtual simulation in manufacturing at Jaguar Land Rover, on this edition of At the Intersection. Welcome to where cloud meets big data. I'm Ken Jennings, your host for this new series. Big data has now started to revolutionize every sector of the global economy. Like other essential factors of production, such as hard assets and human capital, much of modern economic activity simply couldn't take place without it. Big data creates value, allows experimentation, and enables new business models, products, and services. Analysts predict it will become a key basis of competition and growth for all companies in the future. This series will highlight some of the successes pioneering companies have had using big data. According to a J.D. Power & Associates study released in July, Jaguar ranks second industry-wide in vehicle appeal, and Land Rover tied for sixth among nameplates of 34 brands. And the Range Rover Evoque is ranked as the most appealing in the entry premium crossover SUV segment. So appealing that it also won Motor Trend's SUV of the Year in 2012. What is the secret of this phenomenal success? How did Jaguar Land Rover's Evoque achieve these and over 120 other awards since its release just over a year ago? A big factor is certainly big data.
One of Evoque's great successes is that journey from concept to production without dilution. It was about putting design at the top of the agenda, but at the same time not to the detriment of the engineering. But it was a great belief that this design should not be constrained by the engineering, should not be constrained by the manufacturing. It had to work in harmony to create something that was truly desirable that people would want to buy.
Jaguar Land Rover's highly successful Evoque, a winner of over 120 awards since it was introduced in 2011, epitomizes how virtual simulation is changing the automotive industry by helping integrate design and engineering. Given Land Rover's design director Jerry McGovern's unique design, the Range Rover Evoque represented a lot of challenges for the design and engineering teams. The dramatic roofline required innovative redesign of the structure and components under the back seat. And the weight and mileage requirements pushed aerodynamic and material design to new levels for the engineering teams.
The actual product development process is incredibly complex. A lot of very talented designers and engineers that are very capable that have to come together to make these things happen, and technology is being used in order to make that process more efficient, quicker where it's appropriate.
Traditional automotive manufacturing begins by carving clay models from the designer's drawings. Introduced in the 60s, computer-aided design and computer-aided engineering allowed manufacturers to cut time to market and reduce costs. Today at Jaguar Land Rover, virtual simulations generate huge amounts of data, often greater than 10 terabytes per day. Using high-performance computers to manage this huge amount of data, design and engineering teams create virtual simulations of spatial, three-dimensional images, giving teams increased perception as they experiment with design and technology variations, while reducing wasteful physical prototyping. These tools helped give the teams the insight to solve these design engineering problems.
We employed the full suite of analysis onto the Evoque so that we could very much again mature the design through many, many iterations of that vehicle virtually, so that by the time we got to create a physical prototype, we were very confident that the car would perform how we were expecting it to perform.
Virtual simulation allowed the teams to look at the problems in much more detail, easily test new ideas, and make changes faster than ever before.
More advanced computers means that process is now much reduced, therefore we can just keep throwing detail at the models, and the more detail we get, more accuracy we get, and also the more areas to explore we get as well.
We had 9, 11 designs, something like that, and what our designers were allowed to do is come down here and they could cherry pick from each design. So in the end, we could turn something around in a matter of days and they could see that design.
Virtual simulation has changed the way engineers look at everything these days, from fluid dynamics to assembly planning.
It's all on screens, multiple screens. What you typically see is engineers clustered around a screen. And it's become very much a visual science. So when we're talking NVH or crash, people are looking at structures collapsing, they're looking at things shaking. They can see the performance, and that's a language that's much more readily understood by others.
To manage the demands of virtual simulation, the Jaguar Land Rover IT team designed and built a high-performance computing ecosystem of HPC clusters, scale-out NAS, file server engineering workstations, and networking to form a capable factory environment.
We're generating tens of terabytes of data. We're running a parallel file system of hundreds and hundreds of terabytes of data that is not only in place today, but gives us the scale-out capability of the future, both from an I/O perspective, but also from a pure storage perspective.
And it's been the managing and using that data that's helped make the Range Rover Evoque a reality.
The key to data is unlocking it. It's about putting tools into the hands of both power users and the general business, and around opening this up so that we can have an actual platform that enables us to make use of all this unlocked potential.
The vehicle is a tribute to the designers and the engineers that actually made it happen. The car, most importantly, is selling very well, and it's helping to transform our business. In a way, it's just changed attitudinally the way we approach product development.